Hello and welcome once again, my friends. It's Hambbage here, and yep, we got more hardcore vanilla Minecraft coming right up. Let's get that slide out of the way. It's never finished. Never finished. Load up this world again. Yeah, for myself, it's been a quick little break. Just went outside. It's still raining. It's kind of amazing, actually. The headphones that I have they're over ear, but they're not like the big bulky, streamer headphone kind of deal. It's just a headset that you would normally see like in an office for conference calls and that kind of stuff. That's why I got it. Um, and I was surprised as soon as I finished up. I took them off and I was like, "Wow, there's a lot of rain noise." So, oh, I never got the milk. Could that in any way be an issue down here? I don't think so, right? I don't think we can accidentally trigger a raid. So we were going to go this way because I think we have some Crimson Forest right here. Oh, we got some Warped Forest. Huh. Was there Crimson back this way? Or is that some other world I'm thinking of? Probably some other world. Crimson was over here, though. Rather not get involved. I can avoid it in a piglin fight. So didn't we have some... Is that's still warp too? I thought we had Crimson over this way. Let's see. Remember, we were so young in the world, so carefree when we were first coming looking for ancient debris in this little tunnel. Never really ended up being we ended up running parallel and going over under the fortress more, out beyond our end portal. Uh-oh. Alright, well... Next option, I guess, is... I don't know what's going to be fastest. I think if we go out, if we keep going in this direction, if we cut through the hub and then go back through that way, I think we've got one down there. Now I'm second guessing everything, though. Ooh. And of course, we get ghasts down here. We'll probably have more gas than we've ever seen. Just because we don't need them down here. But for anybody that didn't catch it, I didn't really talk about it, but we had a dozen tiers back at base. So we have been through all the effort. Here we go. Through all the effort, we've been doing a pretty good job of building up some of those resources. So that's good. Now, crimson trees can be kind of fun, but they're a little funky in how they behave, and we haven't done much of anything yet in these forest biomes to really talk about them at all. So clearly, the hoe is the tool of choice for these blocks, the kind of meat of the mushrooms, if you will, and the glow shrooms. So get your hoe ready, and that's why I just didn't put it away after we'd done the fields. It will help, and they're not super resilient blocks. They're not going to be great for dealing with creepers or things around your base, but they will add a lot of color and fun. And the stem blocks, those are basically interchangeable with wood. You can craft them into the planks and all that. We'd kind of played with all that previously, and that was when we were making the buttons. So lots of decorating options that come out of this stuff. So I think it's worth it. Also, they won't decay like leaves. So if you just go through and take the trunks down, you won't get clear, nether skies, if you want to call them that, as a result, unless you go through with the hoe and clear things out. And I don't like floating trees or blocks or any of that kind of stuff left, no matter where in the world. That just looks messy. So even though I don't have a specific need for any of this stuff just yet, I'm still going to go ahead and clear it. As we do our thing. Some of that could be trappy. A little risky, I guess, with the food bar a bit low, but we do have our totem back in hand, so we're not overly at risk. Let's cook the feet a bit here. All right. Now, we talked a little bit in one of our previous episodes about how the buttons are relatively expensive. You don't get, it's not like you're going into sticks or something, which is too bad because, it's a button, right? It shouldn't cost as much as it does when you're trying to get from a different color, and, they're a little tougher. And I don't know of great farming options for these. You guys probably do, and feel free to drop a comment if you have a good farming solution where you can get these growing for harvest, with enough built in for harvesting regularly and not having to go do wandering. There's so much nether out there. It's one of those. That's why I don't have any firsthand. Usually I get all I need, but we have a significant appetite for them in this particular situation. Can we get to a place where we have just more easy access into a bunch of these? I think this is where we used to have vines hanging down, wasn't it? Let's try this way. Yeah. But it's a cool biome. I found it really challenging and scary when it first came out. Dealing with the hoglins coming out, and there's enough cover that you kind of get used in the old Nether, where there's a lot of threats and you have to be prepared, but you can see most of them coming from a long ways away. In these forests, you lose all that, and that can become a much bigger challenge. And of course they can drop on you just like they would in a bastion. And up here you can find yourself exposed to drops more. Well, I guess the bastion is kind of the king of that too, where there can be a hole all the way down, much like what we just found the other day when we were working on the gas room. So everything has its challenges, I guess. But if you can get, kind of up to a particular height and then work your way back down, and for that, the only real thing I've discovered is you do have to kind of watch out, because you'll kind of end up with stems that are tall and tough to connect. So try to be aware when you're getting down towards the bottom of the what is this stuff? The nether wart. And kind of chop downward on some of the stems when you get to that point, so that you don't end up isolated. So we'll kind of leave that path back where we can have a pretty makeable jump. Then take those down as far as we can, pull back a bit, like to here. Anybody see him? Oh, he's down low. Oh, I thought I was falling there. Okay, that we should be able to get to. Let's go one down this way. But yeah, I keep looking behind, trying to catch the source on some of those grunts and squeals. Haven't got it yet. Let's see, it's those. Oh, there's no stem below there, right? And then you're kind of cut off. So, just, sort of chess, right? Try to think where you want to be, not where you are. Where you're going to move from that. don't leave stuff like that hanging around. Alright, so now hopefully those are accessible. Get those last little bits. There you are. See, definitely a little more to this than just aiming the pick up above our head and clearing ceiling tiles, that kind of stuff. So I was looking forward to this kind of an episode. I think it'll be fun. What we really haven't seen at all yet is much in the way of gold or quartz, and that may, it may just be the reality of where we're working. Alright, let's go gather before the despawn gets us. And we'll want to get those little mushrooms as well. As described, we'll probably see a bunch. Just because this isn't where we want them. Okay, it's box time. Start with those. And that. Try to keep the stems just so we can keep a better count. I don't mind the glow stem, the glow shroom blocks, is that what they are? As well. In the inventory. It's just nice to know how much we've got of whatever it is we're trying to gather. Alright, now that we're here, I don't know if how great would it be if that had a fortune effect. Doesn't look like it. Alright, well, since it doesn't seem to, won't force it. 6 more. And I think that's going to be how we would grow the stems outside. Put them on some of the Nilium and grow them up that way. So we've got not quite 200 buttons to be made. All right. Now, home is still very apparent. That's not as productive though, because half of it's going to go down. Shoot. Is this right above where we were at? Maybe? Or is our path out that way? Getting all turned around. Nope. This is right over the top. So let's just keep going this way. Definitely not the... Don't start from the bottom. It's not going to work out well. Oh, oh no. Oh, oh, awful. I hear him. I see him. Ooh. Oh, hi there. Come on up. All right. Ooh. Just keep kind of checking, make sure we didn't miss anything that we worked hard to get before we press on. Alright, these seem to be pretty well set. Can I just hang here? Yeah. Can I hang here and not? Nope. Nope. But I bet I can do this. Maybe. That didn't go right. Ugh. Let's do that. Now what am I? Oh, oh, come on. What? That's the one we want to climb on, right? This is the one we don't care about. No! Ugh. Head dropped in resignation. All right, Tree. I'm getting the message. Whoa. You really don't want to go away. And, I got to respect that. Whoa. I was looking at those guys over the... Oh, you're just one of the little guys? Ooh. I don't like all the pig noises. That was how we came up, right? Gotta keep remembering, where did I come from? You know, the whole Cotton Eye Joe, where did you come from, where'd you go thing. Again, watch for the eventual bottoms of these, because they're not going to always be there for us. And at some point we'll lose our nice little platforms. And that, again, is where we want to get back that way to get to our stairs down. So yeah, I kind of keep in mind the red mushroom shapes when I'm trying to clear these trees. With the edges, and these are broken, but it's kind of that you may have a top to start from. I hope those are going to be low enough that we can reach everything from there. And we'll just kind of do this. Do that. Oh! Again. Even when you think you're not in trouble, you're often on the brink of trouble up here. At least I am. Maybe you guys aren't. You're like, man, I never have these issues. Why do you make it look so hard? That's what we do in hardcore. Make everything look hard so that if and when we die, it's like, yeah, well, that was hard stuff we were working on. That pig farm I built, trouble. Alright, let's get a snack. Think if we can kind of bring this one back down, we'll be doing okay. And then we'll get a feel for just how much more we need once we see how much we've gotten here. But how far or not far that goes on our highway is going to tell us quite a bit. And I don't know that we're going to lock ourselves into every line everywhere has to have crimson buttons. At least at this point, that seems kind of foolish. But you never know. New facts could come to light. Let's get these guys cleaned up. At least they break easily. Oh. Alright, so now we're going to want to get back up that side. This one seems... I kept looking for the catch. Like, is it over lava? This one might have been the over lava one. I hear a lot of sizzle down below. Good. I don't mind those getting cooked a bit. Oh. Any light source block, though? Well, no. Pretty much any light source block, I try to make sure I grab. I may not need it in any foreseeable project, but having good stores of lighting before you need them is so nice. Just not having to worry about it. It's really good, I think. Yep. That was kind of what I expected. Let's use the right tool. Alright. If we can Cubert our way up the hill. Anybody remember Cubert? Did Cubert ever get like the reboot boost that some of the other old school arcade games have gotten over the years? I think he deserves some love. Honestly, the game itself, I was pretty young when I remember it. Like, you know, you go to like Chuck E. Cheese or one of those. Showbiz Pizza was another one that was kind of the same deal. I don't know if it predated and then just got beat out by a better model with Chuck E. Cheese or how that ended up playing out, but I remember the Cubert machines there and being like, oh yeah, you know, Miss Pac-Man or Pac-Man. I can't remember which. Ooh, careful, dude. Which of the ones that was we could really play as little kids? Probably Miss Pac-Man. But yeah, some of the others got a little technical until you got older, and then it was like, and I think it was very much just practicing your Minecraft parkour. There were monsters that would come down this kind of angled hill, and you tried to go up the hill, a little like Donkey Kong, except that I don't remember them throwing things. They may have, but that wasn't something I was too aware of. I think rather than going, I think we were, see if we can get to a point where we can toss this. Get a few more of these. Did I already grab all the other ones over there? Well, there's one. Let's make a little bit of a torch path home, just to our access point, really. It's another one of those deals where as you start out, it's tough to navigate because there's so many trees, but then when you've cleared all the trees, everything just looks the same because there's nothing there as a landmark, so... Huh, that doesn't look fun. Oh, is that right over my, hear that? Come on. Yeah, right over the path. Could be a little drop express ticket home. How far up and back do these go? Can we connect it all? I don't think we're going to be able to really get the top ones. But maybe we can climb up through there, around, come back down here. Done with you. Be great if I was really looking for this stuff or the glow blocks or anything. There's loads of those. Okay, now I go there. Hey, quartz. Of course, I got to deal with netherrack then. Yeah, I think that was kind of the last tree out we'd been looking at, whether we could get to or not. I don't know if those are, for all I know, those are all just falling straight down into lava. Total waste. Oh, that's a big man. Ooh, oh. The throwaway arrow gets a little scary too, and you're like, oh, don't hit the pig man. Ooh. I don't want to leave you all floating out there. Ooh. The good news is they don't seem to be at all able to pathfind to us. Ooh, don't miss. Oh, is that our... It's our way back, too. Careful. Well, I guess we could always just chop down the stem and go that way. Speaking of which... I don't think that's a half bad idea. Let's go down between these two. I think we still came out over there. Take down all this stuff. So I'd mentioned in the previous episode that my day kind of went all crazy as far as timeline went, and while I was stuck with no internet, not able to do this, which is what I'd really kind of been planning to do at that time. I was playing some Skyrim. I don't know if I'd said that I was playing Skyrim, but I was playing Skyrim. One of my favorite, just kind of like pick away at it games. Absolutely love the world and the story and the the progression that is so reproducible now that you guys may think it's just done. A lot of people probably do. It certainly doesn't have the replayability of Minecraft, and even when I play it, saying that, it's often I'll play a character, get a ways into it, and I just get tired of it, and next thing I know, I haven't picked it up for a year. Like, oh, I guess I'll start over, and that's kind of been my deal. I think on my PlayStation, a little like trophy completion setting thing, or their little metrics to keep you engaged. It has me at like 57%, and I know I haven't touched all the late game comment or content at all. I forget the name of it, the little volcanic island that's all covered with ash. Like, I've completed all of that kind of stuff when it came out. And I've hung out with the graybeards to the point of getting beyond the locked gate at the top of the mountain, if you know what I mean. So, that I try not to spoil it myself, although it's way too late, for that. And a lot of the stuff you can kind of guess at, but I haven't played through the end of the game, and I've always kind of held back from like the Civil War content because I really don't like either side. There's a lot of games like that where they try very hard to make it clear that there's not a good guys versus a bad guys. There's choices, and you can play it either way, and that really helps the replayability, right? You get to see a lot more content that way, and they certainly reuse that in a game that I've also played a lot of in Fallout, with the various factions and letting you opt for which team, so to speak, you want to play with. And I think that's smart, and it's good design to have all that. But I don't know. Skyrim in particular, it's just that every time it's so pushing you to go with the party at the beginning, and kind of then, as I expect, the story is kind of teaching you the error of hasty judgment when you're making those kinds of decisions, and showing that neither of these groups is all perfect. But anyway, that wasn't what I was meaning to say. It was, I like playing that, but I always find myself restarting because I'll have gotten further than I've gone before. That's usually I play out into new content, and I'm going, and then just life gets in the way, and I don't even think about playing for a while. And the next thing I know, it's like, oh, I kind of forgot what was going on there, so why don't I just start fresh and build back up? And I wonder how many folks are kind of that same deal. And I've seen it from other games, just in those same, whether it's Steam or any of the console games, you see the trophies and stuff to kind of gauge your progress. What stuff have you found? And some of them, like advancements in Minecraft, are really designed that you're not going to get them without specifically going trophy hunting or advancement hunting. And that I have no problem with that either. That's, again, good good content for the people that are seeking that kind of stuff, that want to have access to some of that beyond just the base story, interplay and challenges. So it's not just grinding top tier bosses and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'd started a playthrough a while back. Let's say a while, like a couple weeks ago or something like that. And I'd been having a blast. I hadn't played it in a long time. And, usually I'll have a YouTuber, somebody that does a Let's Play, running along beside me. Whether that's new or really old, doesn't matter too much to me. As long as the person is entertaining and I like listening to them, hey, go for it. It just, it makes it easy to play along, kind of watch their progress. And you got to know going in, hey, I've done these initial things so many times they're automatic for me. And, you can kind of struggle to watch somebody figuring out the inventory and all that. But, again, cut the creators some slack, especially if they're going in and playing it blind. That's part of the fun and the appeal and the nostalgia. So I still get a kick out of those. But I've always played, just like Minecraft and everything else, I play vanilla in Skyrim. I don't worry about mods and all that. I don't need to tweak the inventory. I like learning how games vary and adapting to them and seeing like how can I manage those myself? How do I take the things that could be annoying and turn them into things that, like, yeah, all right, I can deal with that. And sometimes there's games where you just can't do that at all. And sometimes as you're playing, an older game and then a newer game, you'll kind of go, oh yeah, look at how much they'd learned about inventory management over the progression. You can tell that they were addressing all the feedback that everybody had been talking about with that game when they said that the crafting was terrible, or the inventory or the trash items were just overwhelming. You were always just, dropping your inventory kind of stuff. So I enjoy that, seeing that kind of stuff. What I struggle with in Skyrim is there are a couple of choke points that have gotten me at least once, relatively late in game, but they don't seem to have a good built-in reset unless you're making saves. And I just I'll just quick save throughout in case something happens, I can get back in. But I'm overwriting those all the time. I don't want to have 100 saves of a Skyrim game on my console. That's just unnecessary, and odds are I'll be starting over at some point anyway. But a couple of the runs that I've really been enjoying, you'll be going along, and either you will I gave up one, and apologies to anybody, I shouldn't be just standing here. I think we've got enough to at least make a start. So let's try to find our way back to our path and then get back down to Buttonland. Lots of friends. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna say it. Did they despawn? I thought it was a lot more crowded. In Skyrim, there's a particular quest line. I don't know what the exact name of it is, but Meridian's Beacon, for anyone who's played and is familiar. Dawnbreaker? Is that the quest line? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not super knowledgeable there. Like I said, that is purely play it until I get bored, and then put it away and forget about it for a long time. Usually I alternate between the two, Fallout and Skyrim. I'll go a little bit deeper each time. I'll be like, oh yeah, I don't remember where I was at with that guy. Let's start over. And Skyrim in particular has had these couple of places where just infuriating. I hesitate to call them bugs, and that's not fair. And I cringe so hard when I hear content creators talking about, oh, it's a game bug. It's a game bug. And I know it's kind of a meme, but it's still, you're, either making a living or at the very least, basing a lot of your presence on having that game to create from. And when you just go along and make every excuse for your not understanding the mechanic or there being difficulties, you call it a bug, and you're like, oh, there we go, it's a bug. So one of those, I already mentioned the Meridian Beacon, and maybe I'll get back to that one. Another one that's gotten me twice, because once it happened again, I was like, oh, I think I tried to tell myself that, like 10 years ago not to do that. There's one that's like Valder's Lucky Dagger, I think is what it's called. This dude with some buddies gets stuck in a cave, or goes into a cave with some buddies, they're hunting, and some monsters are there, and kills all his friends, and he's injured, and you stumble upon him, or get sent to go look for him from a town. And when you first meet him, he's sitting under a tree all banged up and says, hey, do you have anything that can help me out? Well, the game will let you use any healing spell or potion on him. But as I'd found out once and then just recently redid, if you hit him with a healing spell to save the potions, and by that point you probably don't need the potions too badly anyway, but you guys know me, hardcore vanilla, don't waste anything. So I'm like, oh, well, I'm more appreciative. Here, let me just top you off with my healing spell. And that's great. He gets up, he goes through, and he does the whole quest with you, and everything would appear to be great, except it never ends, because it never credited the fact that you healed him. And he actually goes all the way back to the town place where he's supposed to meet you and close the quest, but your quest activity marker just continues to say, go talk to him. And it was only really through checking some forums, because again, I usually don't have these or make tons of progress right when they come out. Particularly with Skyrim, I think it was already a couple years old when I first played it. Fallout, I was there pretty much from the beginning on, but it's kind of laughable. I take my time. I don't try to just, as we've talked about with Minecraft, I don't try to race right to the end of content or anything like that. And now you guys know how that works in my my open world single player RPG games. But yeah, so that's one that's gotten me a couple times. And then the other is in the Meridia's Beacon quest, which is this deity that decides, hey, you picked up my thing, this sphere or something like that. I don't know what it is. Now it's a beacon. I always think of it when I'm talking about our beacons. You find it in a random loot chest along the way, and leveled for you, so you'll find it once you get going. And then this voice comes and says, "Hey, you now need to go and clear these baddies out of my temple. Go do that, and I'll give you a weapon." And that's cool. And I like the fight in that one for the level content. It's a good little fight. But once upon a time, I was struggling with it. Whatever my build out was, I wasn't getting past the spellcaster who has a bunch of lesser mobs coming at you. And one of the main companions, most people have probably heard the name Lydia associated with Skyrim. All the companions in Skyrim will do their very best to step right in front of you and get killed because they can't die from mobs. They'll just, kind of take a knee and wait for the fight to be over and then pop back up. But you can kill them accidentally if you hit them or if something is giving them lingering damage. That will end your companions, and it's okay because there's loads of them. But Lydia is a first kind of major character, and a lot of people end up, kind of having her as a pseudo or actual, like a wife type character. There's all that's built in. And I'd been playing that out. We had a couple of adopted children back at our home and everything. We were going out adventuring. I took her into the Steel, and in this kind of final fight of the mission, she was getting in the way in a narrow hallway with a bunch of lesser mobs and then a spellcaster at the far end. So finally, I was just like, all right, you park it. And I set her off on the opposite end. I have no idea how long we've been going. 57. Hey, look at that. Let's ride this, and then we'll wrap up, and we'll be ready for guest time on the next episode. So I'd had her wait, and I went in and gathered up the loot from taking out the boss, and everything is so much better. No monsters. Thanks for the patience on that one, guys. Big help. And we got plenty of stems, so good all around. Let's go drop those off, and we'll end back at the base again. Anyway, poor Lydia was told to wait, and I went through the rest of the quest stuff. Well, at the end, this deity pulls you out of the temple, and Lydia got left behind in where I told her to stand waiting and just to be out of the way of the fight, and I could never get back. All the doors in that part lock back up again when you're done. You don't need to go back there, so the game just says, yeah, that's enough of that. And I lost my wife companion, and I was like, no, I can't keep going in this game. That's awful. So that was one that really hurt to start over. And since then, I've kind of just memorialized, if a companion has an accidental death, I just, kind of story-wise memorialize them, throw a piece of their gear or something up on the wall, or put it in a chest as a memento and move on. But in this last game, I got the little healing potion thing again. I'd forgotten not to do that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to have this unfinished, unclearable quest in my playthrough. And I don't know how many more there are that I just never get to. I fear that will be an ongoing issue, but it absolutely boggles my mind. But the other piece was, as I play the game, I typically don't adjust the difficulty once. It's kind of like hardcore. Hardcore Minecraft makes you lock in at hardest difficulty, and you can't change it. Once you're playing hardcore, that's it. You guys have all seen it, right? If you go, I don't even know, options? Is that it? Difficulty hard, and it's locked out. So you can't change it. And over the years, I've kind of bumped it up. I play expert now. I'm not looking for that game to be a grind or a super challenge, but I want to die every once in a while. I don't want to just breeze through all the content. And Skyrim is a game where the further you go, the more OP you get. It really wasn't designed with any late game balance in mind. It just lets you make, you talk about god tier armor in Minecraft. There's no comparison to the god tier levels you can get to when you're playing in Skyrim, because you have skills for smithing and enchanting and potions, and you can make a potion that makes you better at smithing to then make better armor that then you put an enchantment on to make better smithing, and you just cycle yourself up and up and up and up and up and up. And it's an engaging mechanic. A lot of times you're like, oh, I'm questing, I don't want to get distracted, and then you find like, oh, I just spent an hour just cycling through improving all my armor, that kind of stuff. So it's part of what's made that game so popular, I know. And so I won't complain too much. But yeah, so I'd started over, and really what I had meant to get to much quicker on that is when you do those start overs again, you realize without changing the difficulty, sometimes you'll go in and you're just breezing through stuff from the start of the game, never thinking twice. And then all of a sudden, it'll come at you like a hand, like, oh, I've been sleeping on you. Here comes the death loop to get you. So I kind of wonder, if any of you guys watching are big Skyrim fans, what's the difficulty that you guys like to play at, first of all? And do you notice, have you just had one game that's still going and you're all geared out top notch and there you go? Or do you go back and play different races and characters and stuff just to broaden out the experience? You're welcome to comment. Let me know. I'd be curious. But that's kind of how I have filled in my time the last couple of days. And I'd kind of wondered as I was getting started, like, man, maybe I should start again and bump up the difficulty. Well, then the last dungeon I went into, I got a couple deaths right in a row. So the game is waking up, and I think like Minecraft, it kind of, you hit certain thresholds, and the game's like, all right, let's do this while we're here. Your fun time's pretty much over. No more training wheels. Just get going. All right. Well, there we go. We mission accomplished that one. And we'll sleep, we'll save, and then I'm going to see how close my food is here. May go late. A lot of the times these end up getting cooled and stored for later. So we'll see if I have a first taste report after this one, or we do another episode with a break. But I'll have one more coming for sure tonight, and I hope you guys are doing well. Do take a break, though. Make sure that you're giving your bodies and your minds a chance to get away and go out and see what's going on in the real world. I'm hoping it's still raining out there because it's wonderful. I'll let you know. But you guys take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Oh, man, I didn't even get to slides. I was just talking. Let's give you a thank you. Be sure to like and comment. I really do appreciate that. It certainly helps the channel. And subscribe for your own sake so that you can see when I've got new content coming up. Try to keep that kind of daily, maybe a couple a day. But it can always change or mix up. So subscribe for more. See ya.